All right, so today we are diving headfirst into AI.
Really hitting the big leagues this time.
Yeah, and it's interesting, right? Because we always talk about cool new gadgets and stuff, but this is different. This feels like it's actually going to change how we write, how we work. I mean, even how we see the world, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And I think what's really interesting about all these announcements that have come out, like from Google, Meta, Microsoft, OpenAI.
Like everybody and their brother.
Exactly right. Everybody's got AI on the brain.
Hmm.
It really feels like it's been simmering for a while and it's ready to like take center stage.
Okay, so let's start then with everyone's favorite writing assistant, ChatGPT.
Gotta be ChatGPT.
OpenAI is rolling out this Canvas feature, and honestly, when I was reading about this, it blew my mind. I was like, this changes everything.
Yeah, well, okay. Think about it this way. How many times have you started with ChatGPT, got something pretty good, and you're like, all right, now I'm going to spend like 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours editing this thing.
Oh, all the time.
Canvas is bringing that editing process inside ChatGPT.
What?
Yeah, so imagine like, a Google Docs style interface, but your AI is in there with you suggesting edits, changing the length of paragraphs, maybe even adding emojis based on the tone.
So instead of just like spitting out a block of text, it's more like you're actually collaborating with it.
It really is. And, this is huge. Think about the level of control now that users have. You can literally be like, make this more concise, make this funnier, make this more formal, whatever you want.
I mean, come on, let's be honest. Some days that would be incredible. No more writer's block,
Yeah.
staring at a blank page. But then it also makes you think like, okay, bigger picture here. This is a huge shift, right? Like,
Yeah.
are we now getting to this point where AI is becoming less of a tool and more of a teammate?
You're hitting on a really important point here because as AI starts to take on more of these collaborative roles, especially in creative fields, I mean, you have to start asking questions about like authorship. How are these tools impacting our creative process? And what does it even mean to be original?
It's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah, but also fascinating to see it kind of all unfold in real time. But okay, so speaking of lines getting blurred, let's talk about AI entering the workplace because Microsoft's Copilot is taking things to a whole other level. This is not just scheduling meetings anymore.
Yeah, it's way beyond that. I mean, Microsoft is really trying to position Copilot as this always-on work companion. So think about this. You're in a spreadsheet, you're looking at a bunch of data, and it can analyze that data on the fly, it can answer your questions about trends, even suggest next steps in your project.
Okay, so this is less about like robots taking our jobs and more about, actually making us better at them.
Well, that's the idea. I mean, obviously, the impact on the job market is something that we have to watch very, very closely.
Yeah.
But just from a practical level, we all feel this. We are bombarded with information all the time. And so what if instead of getting lost in all that data, you have AI there to help you cut through the noise?
See, that's the part I get excited about because that sounds amazing. I would love some help with that. Okay, but before we go too far down the rabbit hole of like, having an AI assistant manage our inboxes, let's bring it back to something a little more tangible. Remember those Ray-Ban smart glasses from Meta?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They just got a serious AI upgrade.
They did.
Yeah.
They did. And this is a great example of how we're starting to see AI seep into like our everyday objects. This isn't just about taking calls anymore. They're adding features like they'll be able to remind you where you parked your car. Like if you park in like the back 40 of the grocery store parking lot because you want to get your steps in, they can help you find your car.
Which honestly, some days I need that.
Yeah.
Okay, so they can help you find your car. What else?
They can scan QR codes, they can give you directions, even let you send voice messages through your phone, completely hands-free.
Okay, so now it's really like...
It's getting there.
It's like a spy movie or something, but it's like real life.
It's true. It's true.
And that's kind of, I don't know, it makes you think though, right? Like as AI starts to kind of blend into our world like this and our physical world,
Yeah.
what are the implications? I mean, we're already like, privacy, data privacy, huge conversation with smartphones.
Huge, right.
Imagine that just like amplified when it's something you're wearing all the time.
For sure. And it's not even just about like data privacy in that sense, but, how does this change the way that we interact with each other?
Right.
Or like our surroundings even.
Yeah.
Are we going to become so reliant on these AI-powered devices that we like lose some of our own abilities?
Wow. Yeah.
It's something to think about as this stuff becomes, just everywhere, ubiquitous.
Yeah, no kidding. And speaking of like seeing the world differently, literally Google Lens is also getting like a big upgrade, but this time it's all about video.
This is a cool one.
Reading about this and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, imagine you're watching a video, right? Like maybe it's a cooking demo or like a DIY project.
Yeah.
And you want to know more about something specific, maybe like an ingredient or a tool that they're using.
Okay.
So with the new Google Lens, you can just point your phone at the video, ask a question, and the AI will actually analyze what it's seeing and give you the information.
Hold on.
Yeah,
It understands what's in the video.
pretty much, yeah.
That's insane. So many possibilities.
Oh, huge, especially for learning,
Yeah.
right? Think about it. Students using it to research historical footage or like, I don't know, doctors consulting on a surgery that's being live streamed from another country.
Right.
I mean, the potential for education and like just knowledge sharing is pretty incredible.
It's wild. It's like having, I don't know, the entire internet, but like for video at your fingertips, okay?
Right.
This episode is like really blowing my mind right now.
It's a lot. Right.
And we haven't even gotten to Meta's Llama 3.2 yet.
Right.
This isn't just another AI model or something, right? This one's got something different going on.
It does. And this one is a really big deal because it's all about open source AI.
Okay.
And I know that sounds like a mouthful, but let me try to break it down.
Please.
Think of it like this. Imagine if the recipe for baking a cake, right, wasn't like a secret that only a couple of big companies knew, but it was something that anyone could access and tweak and share their own version of.
Okay, so instead of like one kind of cake, we've got like a whole bake-off happening.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's the beauty of open source, right?
Yeah.
So in the case of Llama 3.2, the actual code behind this really powerful AI, which, by the way, can understand both text and images, it's available for anyone to use and adapt.
So instead of just like a few companies controlling everything, it's more like a level playing field?
Yeah, potentially. And this could lead to like this explosion of creativity, right? Where developers from all over the world are building on each other's work.
That's kind of exciting. But isn't there also a risk? Like if you make something this powerful so accessible?
Always, always. I mean, there are always risks, but there's also huge potential benefits. I mean, think about it this way. One of the things that's really cool about Llama 3.2 is that it's designed to run really efficiently, which means you could potentially have this powerful AI running locally on your device.
Wait, so you wouldn't even need like an internet connection to use it?
Potentially not, no, which is huge for a lot of people, especially people who are concerned about data privacy, or maybe people in parts of the world where internet access is limited.
Right.
You know, it puts the power of AI directly into the hands of users,
Right.
for better or worse.
Yeah.
And that's a conversation that I think we really need to be having alongside all these advancements.
100%, yeah. And speaking of conversations, we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
We've gone from AI writing partners to AI-powered glasses to AI that can like understand what's happening in a video.
Right.
It's like AI is popping up everywhere we look.
It is. And I think that's the biggest takeaway from all of this.
Right.
AI is not some far-off futuristic concept. It is happening right now.
It's intertwining with our lives.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's what's so crazy about it, right? It's not just in some lab in Silicon Valley. It's like the tools that we're using every day, the ways that we're working, learning, even the things we wear.
Yeah, it's a pretty profound shift.
It really is. And so it kind of begs the question, right? As we become more and more reliant on all these systems, are we shaping them or are they starting to shape us?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Right. Like it's a question that goes way beyond just the technology itself.
Way beyond.
It's like philosophy, ethics, like what does it even mean to be human in this world that is increasingly shaped by all of this?
It's true.
And it's happening now. That's the thing that I think is, it's almost hard to wrap your head around. We're living in a sci-fi novel
Totally.
that we didn't realize we were writing, you know?
Right. And we're so busy, we're so caught up in just like the day-to-day that we don't always take a minute to just like step back and go, whoa, wait a minute, this is a really big deal.
Totally. And I think, you know, for anyone listening, like the people who are listening to this, who are curious, who want to kind of stay ahead of the curve.
Right.
This is it. Like, this is what we need to be paying attention to.
Right. We can't just be passive consumers of this technology.
Right.
We have to engage with it. We have to engage with it critically.
Yes, 100%. Because it's like you were saying, you know, these systems, they're learning from us. They're evolving based on like how we interact with them.
All the time.
So the choices that we're making right now, today, how we use these tools, the questions that we're asking,
Yep.
that's all going to shape what this becomes tomorrow.
Exactly. It's both an incredible opportunity and like a huge responsibility.
Right.
Because we have this potential to really steer these technologies
Mhm.
towards like solving some of humanity's biggest challenges, But it requires us to be mindful, to think about the ethics, and to make sure that this benefits everyone.
Right, not just a select few.
Exactly.
It's not just like the wealthy or the, I don't know, the tech savvy. Like everybody needs to be a part of this conversation.
100%, yeah.
So I guess like as we kind of wrap up this deep dive into this crazy world of AI,
Right.
what's like the one big takeaway you hope people walk away with?
I think more than any specific announcement or feature that we talked about today, the key message is this. The future of AI, it's not set in stone.
Right.
It's being written right now
Yeah.
by all of us.
Yeah.
And the more informed, the more engaged we are, even, dare I say, imaginative,
Yeah.
the better that future will be.
Well said. So there you have it, folks. AI is no longer on the horizon. It is here. And it's up to all of us to explore it, question it, and shape it into something truly remarkable. Until next time, keep your minds open and your curiosity piqued. It's a lot to process.
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, it's exciting in a way, right?
For sure.
Like we're on the cusp of something huge,
We are.
but also kind of daunting.
Yeah, that's the right word for it. It's like, it's this weird mix of like, oh, the possibilities are endless, but also like, are we ready for this?
Right, exactly. And how do we even begin to prepare for something when we don't know what it's going to look like?
Right, and that's the challenge, right? Because it's changing so rapidly, it's not like we can just like create a 5-year plan and be like, okay, this is how we're going to deal with AI.
Totally, yeah.
It's like we have to be adaptable. We have to be willing to learn and evolve as these technologies do.
And maybe that's part of it, right? Like maybe this is pushing us to kind of rethink how we approach, I don't know, education, even just like personal growth and development.
100%, yeah. I mean, think about the skills that are going to be valuable in this future that we're moving into, right?
Totally.
It's not just about, like coding or whatever.
Right. It's like, can you adapt?
Can you think critically? Can you be creative? Can you communicate effectively? Those are the things that are going to set people apart.
Yeah. And I think for a long time, I don't know, maybe even subconsciously, we've put AI in this box of like, oh, that's for the tech people. That's
Yeah.
not for me.
Yeah, like it's this other thing.
Right, exactly. But I think what we're seeing now is that it's like, no, this is for everyone.
It's pervasive, right?
Yeah, it's going to touch every aspect of our lives
It already is.
in ways that we probably don't even realize yet?
Totally. And I think the more we can kind of embrace that, the more we can have those open and honest conversations about it.
Right, like without freaking out.
Yeah, without panicking. Right. The better equipped we'll be to actually navigate this new landscape.
100%. Yeah.
It's about finding that balance, right?
Right, like acknowledging the potential benefits, but also being realistic about the risks.
Yeah, and being proactive about mitigating those
Yeah.
risks, right? Like, we can't just sit back and hope for the best.
Totally. We have to be active participants in shaping this future.
Exactly.
And I don't know, that's kind of empowering in a way, don't you think?
I do. I think it's easy to feel powerless in the face of all this, like it's all happening so fast.
Yeah.
But we're not just along for the ride.
Yeah.
We actually have a say in how this unfolds.
Totally. And that's what I hope people take away from this conversation. Like, yeah, it's a lot. It's overwhelming,
It is.
but it's also an incredible opportunity. We're living in this really unique moment in history
We are.
where we get to kind of help shape the future.
Exactly. And that's pretty darn cool.
It is. It's pretty darn cool. All right. Well, on that note, I think we've covered a lot of ground today. From AI writing partners to AI-powered glasses to AI that can understand what's happening in a video. It's been a wild ride.
It has.
So, and to everyone listening, thank you for coming along on this journey with us.
Thanks for listening, everyone.